What's up? Welcome back to Story by Director X. We are going to read a story called Caramel Curves. Now, there's an interesting backstory to this. Caramel Curves is one of the stories that made me want to do Story by Director X. I took a meeting in Hollywood, big executive, and he says to me, "Hey, have you ever heard of the Caramel Curves?" I go, "No. Who are the Caramel Curves?" They're a all-women black bike club in New Orleans, and I want to make a movie about them. Cool, come up with a story for me. And of course, I jump in. Normally, the story would have been maybe a pitch, but I decided to write the story. So I go and write a story, work for about a month, figuring out a story, working on it with my agent, send it back to the guy. He's like, some TV channel's doing a bike girl club show, but forget about it. So I just have a story that I wrote for an executive who I don't even know if he read it. He didn't even say, "Hey, great story," made nothing. It's just, do this, just Hollywood shit. And again, one of the motivations of what made me start wanting to read these things out here instead of hoping someday, somewhere, someone might want to make, how about I just read it to y'all? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to read it to y'all, get a vibe, and let's see. It's a great story. I really love this one. And if you like movies like Girl Trip, if you like, Waiting to Exhale, just grown, female-led movies, this is something you're going to like. Caramel Curves, story by Director X. Caramel Curves, story by Director X. It's Memorial Day weekend in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. That means it's the annual Black Pearl Cultural Heritage and Bike Festival, but everyone just calls it Black Bike Week. The roar of engines fill the air on the Grand Strand. Custom bikes and flashy cars cruise up and down, but one gang is getting more attention than all the rest: the Caramel Curves. They stand out even amongst a crowd of people who stand out. 13 black women ranging from their 20s to 40s, riding motorcycles, dressed in matching pink and black bodysuits, black helmets, accentuated with pink feathered mohawks. It's a sight to be seen. The Curves pull up to a club. Outside, multiple bike clubs are hanging out, all of them men. The women with them are passengers, no female riders to be seen. Machismo fills the air. The Caramel Curves bike patch that they all wear proudly has an MC on it. One of the men says something slick to one of the Curves, named Grace, about the patch. He says it means men's club, and they shouldn't be wearing it. Grace has an independent, serious, and studious nature. She politely tells him MC stands for Motorcycle Club, and the women are well within the tradition to sport the MC proudly. He scoffs at her with an insult that the rest of the Curves hear. Grace is taken aback from the comment. Not knowing what to say, speaking her mind and getting into conflict just isn't her thing. Azalea, on the other hand, has no such issues. That's why they call her True. Seeing Grace needs help, True snaps into action, telling the insulting man about himself and landing some real serious soul-hurting jabs about his lack of money being obvious by his clothes, his fake jewelry, and his shitty bike. The women around him have an obvious change in opinion in him, and he gets angry. His raised aggression brings the man's friends into the mix. It becomes a large argument. The largest of the Caramel Curves, Val, takes it up a notch and grabs the insulting man. Things are about to get out of control when Grace gets in between them and calms the situation, not wanting any trouble. Everyone chills, goes their separate ways. Grace tells the rest of the Curves that they did not need to jump in like that. She had the situation under control. Raja tells Grace that they are the Caramel Curves. They are family. Val pipes up, "Mess with one Curve, you messing with all the Curves." They all cheer and throw their arms around Grace. Inside the club, the Curves walk in as a force of nature. Of the 13 members of the Caramel Curves, we are about to meet the main 8. Grace is logical. She'll keep the girls' space in the club, letting them roam. True is materialistic and isn't afraid to say it. Val can be a bitch at times, and with her size, she can become the Curves' protector and de facto leader. Raja is a little neurotic. Trinity is simply in her own universe and is always a bit spaced out. Ricky is a man-eater. Toya is the Curves' lovable loser, and Tiffany is, to put it bluntly, the dumb one. Grace watches her friends as they get into different misadventures and laughs. She hears a man's voice. What's so funny? She turns to see a handsome man with many drinks in hand and a smile on his face. You got that good thing my friends are out of town as they get themselves into trouble laugh going. Grace is impressed by his deduction. How'd you know? He leans in like he's telling a secret. I'm a keen observer of human behavior. Really? Really? I'd love to break down for you all I see happening in here, but I gotta get these drinks to my boys. Grace doesn't want him to go. What's your name? Marcus. What's yours? Grace. Amazing Grace. Good to meet you. And with a smile and a nod, he's on the move. Grace watches him go. He doesn't look back. Outside, as everyone is leaving, Grace notices Marcus across the way with his friends. His boys are a little rowdy, hitting on girls passing by, but not Marcus. He's the one in his crew women want to talk to and come around looking for his attention. But Marcus is always respectful and cool with everyone, regardless of how they look or behave. Marcus can feel eyes on him and he turns to see Grace watching. He smiles and immediately walks through the crowd to her. The Curves watch with sisterly interest as Grace and Marcus talk. He invites the Curves to a mansion party that's happening not far away. The girls debate and agree. They're going. The caravan of bikes takes to the road. Headlights go forward to the horizon. At the house, it's a good vibe. Everyone is cool. Everyone is getting along. There's drinks, laughing, and music. Grace and Marcus walk the grounds together. He is smart and funny. He lives in Atlanta, owns his own construction business. She's an architect. Their conversation leads to talk of relationships. Grace and Marcus are both single, both ready for a relationship. If only I could find the right woman. If only I could find the right man. They kiss. They watch the sunrise together. Val finds Grace. The sun is up and the girls have to check out of their hotel and hit the road back to New Orleans. Marcus walks with Grace to her bike. As they say their goodbyes, they kiss again. The entire Camel Curves notices this happen, and they are shocked and happy for their friend. In the hotel, Grace packs her bags. She's all smiles. Her phone receives a message. Marcus has texted her. It was great to meet you. You really are amazing, Grace. Grace smiles from ear to ear. The Curves hit the road back to New Orleans. As they ride down the highway, the heads turn in the cars they pass. Truck drivers honk horns. At a truck stop, the girls get food. The 13 of them take over much of the diner. Grace, True, Ricky, and Trinity share a booth. The topic of conversation is, of course, Marcus. Her encounter with Marcus has her with butterflies in her stomach. Grace is trying to be realistic, but something in her is hoping that this may be what she's been looking for. A life partner that she can have a child with, raise a family, grow old with. She has played by the rules all her life. She avoided getting pregnant when she was young, kept to the books and got good grades. Now she's a successful architect, but has yet to find a man she would want to start a family with. Has she wasted the best years of her life just to be successful and alone? Trinity suggests listening to her heart and not her head. True tells Grace to keep her standards high and not settle. Ricky says neither of those things matter if the man cannot perform in the bedroom. The Curves roll into New Orleans. It's like a victorious army returning home. The people in the streets love the Caramel Curves. People take pictures, cheer from the sidewalks. The Curves all go their separate ways towards home. Toya, Raja, Tiffany, Val, Ricky, True, and Trinity all have a range of family types and relationships. Some are married, some have boyfriends, one has a girlfriend, some are single. There are mothers of young children, mothers of teenage children, mothers of a child from their teenage years, and now children from a current husband. It is a mix of economics and modern family types in the 21st century. Grace comes home to a beautiful but empty house. She goes about her business of settling in and cooking herself a meal when the phone rings. It's a video call from Marcus. He's at his office late and decided to call. He notices her dinner and pulls out his leftovers. It's a date. They eat and talk until the sun comes up. Grace pulls up to the Caramel Curves clubhouse, a storefront in a mini mall they have designed in a very Caramel Curve style with a lot of pink and black. Inside the clubhouse, most of the Curves are passing time in conversation, television, or freestanding video games. Toya walks in with a man in a wheelchair. Her guest is a community organizer named Chris, and he needs the help of the Curves. Chris talks about New Orleans gang and gun violence. Although deaths are down, injuries remain about the same, with children often being hit by stray bullets, injuries that can change lives forever. Chris was hit by a stray bullet as a teenager that paralyzed him. He's part of an organization that's using meditation and mindfulness to reduce violence. Chris lays out the science behind the initiative. Studies have shown that prayer and meditation have observable effects on the brain's ability to control emotions and make thoughtful decisions. Although prayer in school is a non-starter, meditation and mindfulness is a possibility. And the places that have done it have seen big drops in violence and suspensions, along with the students performing better in school. Chris is raising funds to train teachers to bring the program into city schools. They are having a big fundraiser, and if the caramel curves make an appearance, the attention will change everything for the program and the city. The curves agree. Grace and Marcus' long-distance relationship is picking up steam. They're constantly texting, calling, and FaceTiming. Each conversation gets more and more personal. He has a successful business with big plans. He's not married, but tired of dating and wants a relationship. Grace feels the same way and is falling for him. The Kerrs begin the process of creating the charity show. There are outfits to create, music to choose, bike choreography to practice. Pure comedy as these different personalities work together. No one can agree on anything. Val takes control. True doesn't like being told what to do. Grace has creative ideas and is serious about how to pull it off. Raja has great ideas, but they're expensive. Toya gets depressed when one of her ideas is shot down. Trinity's ideas are great, but a little too artistic for the task at hand. Tiffany has good ideas as well, but when challenged on them becomes argumentative. Ricky thinks all this drama is very entertaining, even instigating conflict to watch the fireworks, until a shady remark gets sent her way. Then it's all out, let me tell you about yourself time. And just as quickly as the cussing started, it's back to jokes. Grace and Marcus continue their long-distance FaceTime romance. He will come to New Orleans to see her for the weekend, if she wants. And she does want that. The sexual undertones build to overt. They have steamy phone sex, a first for Grace. At the next rehearsal, she tells some of the Kerrs about Marcus riding down to see her. The girls are happy for her. This may be what she's been looking for. Chris joins the girls' rehearsal with good news. The most popular morning show in New Orleans will broadcast the Caramel Curves performance live. The Curves all agree. They got to step it up. The whole city will be watching. Marcus rides his bike from Atlanta to New Orleans. That night, they ride through the city, experiencing the culture, food, jazz, and art. They talk, they dance, they kiss. They walk the historic streets of New Orleans, hand in hand. People comment on how good they look together. It's magical. That night, they return to the hotel in a drunken passion. Lips and hands move all over each other's bodies. Clothes are removed. Marcus brings out a condom. They make hot, sweat, athletic love. The next morning, they ride outside the city to historic Louisiana, visiting the plantations and colonial homes. They stayed at a country bed and breakfast. In the morning, Grace wakes up and watches Marcus sleep. She begins to kiss him. He wakes. She takes out a condom for him. They make love again. It's hot. It's sweaty. It's amazing. He climaxes. His expression changes from happy exhaustion to shock and worry. The condom is broken. They're both a little worried. Grace asks him when was the last time he got tested, and he assures her it was recently and that he is clean. He asks her when she was last tested. Before him, it's been a long time since she has had sex with anyone, so she's clean. That evening, as Marcus packs to go, Grace asks, "What if I'm pregnant?" A long silence before Marcus says, "We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Don't worry. Everything will be all right." They share a passionate goodbye kiss. He rides off. Grace meets with the Kerrs for rehearsal. On account of the morning show, there are new additions to the performance. Fireworks, smoke, some bike stunts. Grace tells the girls about the weekend. She starts with the romance and the amazing sex, then the broken condom. She is torn. She has a part of her that is happy about the possibility of having a child with a man she loves, but she had a plan. She wanted to be married, settle into a home together, everything just right. True, Marcus is a catch, successful, sexy, and all-around good man. Trinity says this is the universe at work, reminding Grace of what she asked for, and here it is, a man and maybe a baby. Grace is feeling better about the situation. 2 weeks later, Grace rides to the pharmacy to pick up a pregnancy test. At home, she empties the plastic bag, and many pregnancy tests tumble out. She takes the test into the bathroom with her. She waits nervously for the results. She has them all placed on the other side of the room. She walks over to them and checks each test. Her expression says it all. She's pregnant. Grace calls Marcus but gets no answer. A text back. "At work. Will call you when I'm free." Grace watches the clock. The sun is setting when her phone rings with an incoming FaceTime from Marcus at his office. She answers quickly. Grace tells Marcus she's pregnant. Marcus sits in silence, his mind obviously racing. You have to get an abortion. Grace is shocked. Why? Marcus goes silent again. I didn't want to tell you this, but I have to now. Tell me what? Marcus pauses, gathers his courage. Tell me what? I'm married. I have a family. Grace feels like she's been punched in her gut. She's trying to process it all. Marcus tells her his feelings for her are real and his marriage is loveless, but he won't destroy his world for her. If she needs money for the abortion, he'll help her out. Grace is speechless. Tears begin to well up in her eyes. Marcus can't bear the watch. I'm sorry. He hangs up. Grace picks up her phone to call Trinity, but can't bring herself to press the call button. She's too embarrassed, too brokenhearted. She starts to cry uncontrollably. The next day, the Kerrs are gathered together for the big show. A large crowd of people have shown up to watch. TV cameras have assembled, not just the morning show, but the local news stations too. The girls wear their hot pink sequence outfits. Their helmets and bikes have special vinyl that makes them all uniform colored. The Kerrs are all gathered except for Grace. Where's she? She's not answering her calls or texts. They're getting dangerously close to showtime. Grace rolls up on her bike. She looks sad and distracted, but assures the Kerrs that she's okay. The Kerrs do the show. Grace is distracted, always one step behind, always a moment away from an accident. Even still, the show is an over-the-top spectacle. It's truly something special. The crowd loves it. The morning show hosts are blown away. As the routine is reaching its climax, Grace messes up. It's a disaster. It's embarrassing. It's too much for Grace to handle. She runs off. The main eight find Grace. Something is wrong. Her behavior, her mistake, it's not like her to act this way. Grace tells them about Marcus, the pregnancy, his marriage, his family, and that he wants her to have an abortion. They discuss what to do. True says she should have the abortion. Trinity thinks it's the universe work. Keep the child. Val declares the support of the Kerrs regardless of what she chooses. After all, they're family. Grace sits at home. She calls Marcus. He doesn't answer. We see her call log. She's called him in the morning, in the afternoon, and this her call in the night. No answer for any. She texts him. We see message after message with no response. He's ghosted her. Grace opens her laptop and Googles abortion clinics and searches. The options list before her. She clicks the link and finds the clinic's phone number. She calls and makes her appointment to terminate a pregnancy first thing the next day. As she contemplates what she's about to do, tears well up in her eyes. A tear rolls down her cheek, but she wipes it away, trying to be strong. Thoughts race through her mind. She gets out of the chair and onto the floor. She closes her eyes and prays. Across town in a modest middle-class house, Val is home with her husband and kids, finishing dinner. It's a typical scene of cleaning the table and reminders of what needs to be done to be ready for school and work the next day. A notification on Val's phone is heard. She checks it. A message from Grace. I need you in the Kerrs tomorrow. The next morning, Grace, Toya, Raja, Tiffany, Val, Ricky, True, and Trinity roll down the street. The abortion clinic is being unlocked by an attendant when the roaring sound of motorcycle engines can be heard approaching. The attendant turns to see what's coming her way. But the Kerrs don't stop at the clinic. They pass it by. The girls get on the highway and head towards Atlanta. In Atlanta, Marcus and the other members of his motorcycle club are in their clubhouse watching the Caramel Kerrs mishap, which has now gone viral. Marcus is talking on his phone when the door busts open and Grace and the Kerrs walk in. Marcus is shocked to see Grace and quickly gets off the phone. He aggressively questions Grace as to why she is there and tells him they all need to go. Grace tries to be reasonable. He hasn't answered calls or texts, and she wants to discuss their situation. There's nothing to discuss. I told you to get rid of it. Bam! Val punches him in the face. The entire clubhouse goes wild. Grace separates Marcus and Val and lays a tongue lashing on Marcus. She tells everyone what he has done to her, lying about his wife and family, lying about his intentions so he can get her into bed, demanding she gets an abortion, and to top it all off, disappearing on her, not returning calls or texts. The men in the club are obviously disgusted with their friend's behavior. He starts to get loud, but the club members pull him back and tell him to be quiet. He takes one last stand and defiantly looks Grace in the eye, but the fire in hers is too much for him to handle. He lowers his gaze in shame. I'm having our baby. Get your affairs in order. Grace and the Curves leave. The door echoes as it closes through the silent room. Then the door opens. Raja re-enters to get Ricky, who's putting her phone number in a cute guy's phone. Marcus' club members step away and turn their back on him. He takes out his phone and sees that a call has been going for the past few minutes. The name on the screen, the wife. He puts the phone to his ear. Hello? A long silence. Then a woman's voice full of heartbreak and anger telling him she's heard everything, launching into a tirade of insults and divorce threats, and telling him that he can find his belongings on the lawn. The Curves roll down the highway, passing the Welcome to New Orleans sign. They pull up to their clubhouse. The other Curves are there. The 8 tell the story about their road trip to Atlanta and the confrontation of Marcus. The room is howling with laughter when Chris comes in. He shows everyone a news story on the popular gossip blog headlined, "How an Embarrassing Viral Video Turned into a Big Donations for a New Orleans Charity." The fundraising has gone through the roof. Grace's disastrous mistake has brought more attention to the charity than a perfectly executed performance ever could have. The girls are ecstatic. Bigger than that, Chris tells them that a big late night show want the Caramel Curves to come on the show and redo their performance. It's the big show. The host shows a clip of Grace's mistake and tells the story of the viral video, and the Curves are there to get it right. The Curves perform a brand new, totally amped up performance. As big TV shows do, the production value is top of top. There are ramps and stunts, fireworks and laser beams, fireballs and moving lights. It is amazing. There's even a nod to Grace's mistake. The performance comes to an end with the host bringing out a massive check with a massive donation to the charity. There are tears and cheers of the girls' triumph. Winter in New Orleans, inside a beautiful and large home. It's a family gathering with all the Caramel Curves and their families. There are husbands, boyfriends, girlfriends, children are everywhere. Amongst them, Grace with her newborn baby. The infant is the center of all the attention. Everyone wants to hold and takes pictures with the child. The baby is brought to Grace as the entire Caramel Curves pose for a picture. Grace smiles, a smile that she has never smiled before. It's the happiest she's ever been, here with her family. The end. Wait. Everyone has gone home. Just Grace and her baby in the living room. She's still feeling the good vibes of friends that are now family. Then there's a knock at the door. Grace checks her watch. Who will be knocking on her door this time? She opens it to find Marcus with shame on his face and 2 gifts in hand. The end.